Hello, hello, and here we are in a moment. And this moment right here is an opportunity for each of us to take a look at ourselves and what we've created in the past and what we're wanting to create in the future. And today I'm really excited because I have my dear sister Ashley with me. We're similar signs, manifesting generator. It's just so amazing since I've met her. She just is me in a different version. And so I'm grateful that we're going to chat about imagining it better today and supporting ourselves as well as everyone here listening to imagine a better world, to imagine a better reality and seeing where we can flow from here. So thanks for being here, Ashley.
Thanks so much for asking. I love it. I love how Imagine It Better has kind of come back into play in my life and it's developed a new meaning. Each time I'm asked about like what it means, it comes out differently because it's shifted with me, and when I met you and you came into my orbit, it was just at this time as I was beginning to feel into myself, feel into my body, really start thinking about who I am and my goals and my dreams. And I really wanted to dive back into my little group. I started initially. I moved cross country. I moved from Chicago to Buffalo to be with my now fiance, and we had a child, and he was a preemie, and then I got cervical cancer, followed by a long string of like just infertility and health struggles ever since. And so Imagine It Better was created because I was really trying to pursue my nutritional and fitness coaching, but I wasn't resonating with the standard training of cold calling and inviting aimless thing, you know how it goes. And I really just wanted to be more organic myself, like this works for me and I love it and I'm just excited to share. So I started the group knowing like my mom would support me, and I didn't want to have them to pay into these things I wasn't feeling I aligned with. But I did align with growth. I've always been athletic, and I go after what I want, and I love community to help me get, rallied up. And so I just felt like no matter what I did, I was struggling. I was, struggling to find happiness in motherhood and struggling to find a flow and raising a child by myself, mostly. And I just couldn't feel better. And so I thought community would help it to inspire me. And so these challenges is what I needed. I started doing like challenge yourself to walk 100 miles or challenge yourself to drink all your water for the day. And they were small, and but I found it was really effective, and it was just showing like if I can drink water as much as I need for a month and we do it together, now I've created this habit. And I found that from there, I was running past 3 miles, and then, eventually I ran a marathon. And, it was just, I found that I could continually, and now that I know the word manifest, I was manifesting. I had no clue. This was pre my spiritual awakening life, and I just really intuitively followed what it needed to do. And it shifts and changes and ebbs and flows every day. Um, and there could be a million things that I could shift about it, but I just continue to imagine it better because I know that each time I imagine things better, I'm creating these positive thoughts, which are creating my reality. And one day I was walking down the stairs. It was a really hard night. The dogs were barking and my baby wouldn't stop crying. And I'm like, who is gonna help me? Like this is crazy. And all I heard was like, you're the only one that can create this. You're the only one to get yourself through this. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was more like an empowering, like you do this. You're the one that's gonna do this. And something about that shifted, like the understanding of the responsibility I had to take over my mind, body, and spirit. And so it's ever since then been this cycle of keeping my body healthy, because without a healthy body, I have a really struggling mental state. and without the spiritual help from my higher power to surrender to, because most days are struggles for me, you know, a lot of health things keep me in survival state. And so this beautiful energy you showed up with brought me back out of this dark night of the soul where I was forgetting to imagine things at all. You know, visualization is my best technique I can use to really just recreate the day. And so you really had me imagining and thinking and daydreaming and feeling, and it really put me back into my 3D body, but somehow expanded me spiritually. This is beautiful. It's just, I'm learning to surrender and to also co-create with myself and with spirit. So it's been a wild process, you know, and it's not pretty and it's hard. Um, but I'm here and I'm here for it. So
Ah, I just love it because what this, shows is that like we're all going through some kind of experience. And whatever we've learned in the past or whatever, it's like there is some kind of scientific thing about like darkness and then returning back to light. Even if you have a light switch off or it's dark outside and the sun rises up and it illuminates everything. And so when we do that for ourselves and we practice and practice and practice, then when we can show up to others, we now have this strong light that can now illuminate you in that darkness. And like that's like the visual that I was even getting now as you were speaking those words of just like, wow, because I showed up, right? Because I decided to be uncomfortable and do the work and be in those shadow parts, maybe by myself, I now was able to witness another inside myself. And it even shifted me. And so it's like amazing. Like the moral of the story is like when we take care of ourselves, we actually can support others in a way that we could have never imagined, because just by me being like, hey, I'm just a mermaid sharing love. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know. But then all of a sudden, all of the pieces start coming in based on learning more about ourselves, really trusting in that, I'm getting these nudges or I'm getting these insights and I don't see it on Google, and it's like,
right.
wait, what does that mean? And I feel like it's so important to know, like, if you have ideas and you have aspirations, like, it's going to come from within and you may not see it at first. And that's why the community and really being around others that like see us for our true self, not just like this ego that might want to have this role in this moment. It's really about being this heart centered leader and really stepping into that with more love and more compassion for ourselves that we can then reflect out into the world, because we all experience darkness. It's like we literally came here to experience it. So if we recognize it as just an experience, we shift it, right? We imagine it better. We now start to create an entire new world that we all are participating in.
Yes. Yes. And it's like the more that I think about, you know, even just this topic of so many topics, it's mine. I have to reel it in because I could go so many directions with what you said, but truly, like I was saying, the evolution of it is exactly that. I prayed for strength and I was given challenges. And it's like, what? You know, and I had to go through that stage of growth of questioning and being angry and being confused and not getting answers. And a lot of this was advocating for my own health, you know, like I know what this is, you know, or not, maybe not the name, but I know what I'm dealing with. And being heard in changing times of the medical world, I found it's just like naturally in my birth chart, I'm a very magnetic leader, but in my ego, from some of the pain, I feel shy, I feel confused, disorganized. And so really doing these leadership roles that I do like to step into and share about takes for me a lot of courage, you know, and so that's just like advocating for myself or starting the groups when I couldn't find one. You know, in the depths of my pain is where I truly shine the most on the outside because I'm like, help me. I need this. We need this. You need this. I know I've seen, you know, and I'm always looking around for who could be suffering like I was. And I want to help them feel better. And that's currently where I'm at. It's just this collection of who knows everything. And it's piecing together with spirit, with messages and songs that I get, you know, combining mediumship with astrology, with the Western medicine and Eastern medicine and Reiki. I just like to ball it all together to help myself fill my cup and share. I just want everyone to feel better. You know, there's got to be something that we can band together to do. And coming from my background of just always feeling like I don't want to speak it, I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know, all these worries we have as we learn to find our voice. I just trust that God speaks through me, you know, please talk for me and help me or guide me or give me the right person, give me the right friends, find me the right doctor, you know, and truly that's me really, you know, seeing and manifesting now, you know, and back then I would have just thought, I'm just really hoping for anything, but I was creating, you know, and along the way I found my soul family and I did see a lot of darkness and I had to see it. So now I know about it, you know, because now the behaviors like relationships I allowed before even last year, they shine so brightly to me like, no, you know, and not because it's bad, but it's not for me. And really learning too, not to complain about everything or say every single feeling or hide every feeling. Now I try to just process, wholly pause and then go forward. So I love sharing. I mean, at this point I've been sober about 8 years, and so I'm really active in a lot of like the AA groups, and these women help me continue to think and question and grow and remind me that I evolve. And it doesn't just apply to addiction, it applies to humans. Human school for me. I'm constantly learning. So I just love these conversations. They're just so thought provoking and you don't always get to have them. I just find it so beautiful and I'm grateful that I was made this way, even though it's challenging sometimes. So I can meet people like you and, you know, get to share.
Yeah, I love it. And the other cool thing is that, like, for those that maybe haven't learned about human design or even know about the different types, like, the really beautiful thing that I've learned about as a manifesting generator is that we're multi-purpose. So, literally, we're meant to, like, take all the things that we like throughout our life and, like, kind of bring them in to our field of, like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, and then actually create something brand new, something that no one has seen before, and really like believing that like it is meant to be this way, because yes, there is a lot of surrender. Yes, there is a lot of like chaotic, like, wait, do I need to go this way or this way or this way? And it's like, well, I get to actually just know that by following my joy, having fun, and doing it the way that really lights me up, like that's the path. And so the more that I've just even knew that little piece of like, oh, this is what this is for me. Like that's just my energy type. So if I'm a creator, or we're creators, right? We're all creators and we're constantly, our thoughts, our actions, our intentions are constantly, creating a reality, whether we see it now or in the future, but it's constantly happening. And so when we start to know our energy type, being like, whoa, so if I am constantly doing something that doesn't light me up, I'm literally creating the opposite of what
Hmm.
I am meant to be doing. And so when we start to like see the process of ourself, then we can start to really imagine it better. Like, okay, well, this worked in the past. what is it that I'm wanting to do now, and how can I move forward? And so for me, like one example that I'm doing is, so, I've been this swimmer and I have a new stroke and I have a body that has had 7 hip surgeries. And it's like, okay, I noticed that there's beliefs about me and my surgeries and me and my body and what I can and cannot do in this body. But what if I were to imagine it better and say, okay, what body do I want? What if I can overcome this challenge? What if I can gain more flexibility? What if, right? So now I start asking these questions and then start deliberately putting the action. So allowing myself to, change my mindset around it and change the foods of what I'm meant to or not to do. And then move in the way that's going to really support me. And what I'm finding with this, and I'm sure you're finding this as well as you're like navigating through, all the different pieces, is I'm finally starting to see some real tangible results, and like, again, it's like we see it, right? It's like we see how we created it. But when you're in that step to step process and you're like, okay, so I'm the creator of my reality. And that means if I believe that I can change my physical body, like if I can create a world, why can't I create a new physical body, And it's like those limitations that we have in the mind of the past or how other generations have been or whatever it is. And we hold on to that and we keep creating the same. So we don't actually imagine it better because we're not able to see that perspective, But once we start, and that's what we're here to be, right? Like, we're here to be these like way showers of like, look, like it can be this way, or it can be this way, or it can be this way. And it's like so beautiful because as the manifesting generator really steps into their gift, we start to then see how we can support others, right? Like projectors who are visionaries and manifestors who are also initiating these processes, and generators to also follow their joy and really like align a world that is in such joy that it's like, oh yeah, like there is no sickness, there is only health, like
Right.
we all are abundant, like we wouldn't even have those thoughts when we're in that space.
Totally. And that's exactly where I've been recently. I've really I like to like microscope it sometimes. When I'm coming out of a hard space and I've been dealing with more chronic type pain that I'm now recognizing is needing attention. And that's what I do with my day. I'm like, okay, has this vitamin worked this week? Yes. Okay, keeping it. Gonna try this, eliminating that. And instead of being angry, everything makes me feel a certain way. I'm really just like, how cool is it that I get to try? Or I'm so grateful that I can try this new thing today, or I have the freedom to do this. I started thinking on a run similar thoughts about like, if my mind can tell my legs to keep going, but my mind also tells me I'm tired, I'm bored, who's making the choice to stop and walk? And I was really finding this with the training. I was struggling. And it's like, ooh, this is definitely mental. And, it's these little things, these little trials I'm able to see, the mindsets I have and the dreams that I hope I could be really do get me to tomorrow differently. And that's where I'm at. I'm tweaking one tiny thing, like up at 7:05. Just truly, just the tiny little accountability and promises to myself I'm keeping are shifting my whole reality. But it's that gray area where I'm always like wanting to help people, where you're done being done, but you're not like at that point where you're ready to blossom, but you're in that growth stage. People struggle, I struggle. And yes, human design made me feel valid. Like when I learned about, my birth chart and my human design and all these things that I thought were weird about myself, I thought were amazing. I'm like, look how many are in this house and look at this. And that you explain the manifesting generator and the way that we think of so many things. I went from thinking I was broken, so many ideas, not enough follow through, it's natural. And then I was able to find kindness to myself and be like, I'm not crazy. Like, refining those words that I grew up with. You're overthinker, you're overtired, or this or that. And no, it's just how I'm made and it's beautiful. So I think my goal is always just to make people feel beautiful and happy. And however that happens, and you can discover yourself. I shoot everything. Check your birth chart, check your horoscope, chat with me, get some Reiki. I'm like the do all, but it works. You'll find something that works. And I just love to be able to be a part of that. So
I love it.
it's
And
beautiful.
so with like all the things that you're creating and being in this moment, if someone is like, "Oh my gosh, like I really want to connect with you," like how can they find you, or even like what are you offering right now? Do you have like an ongoing group chat, or, share?
Yeah. So right now I was just this past year kind of slowly moving away from the Facebook was how I mainly started is in groups. So my Imagine It Better group is my challenge group. Um, so through Facebook Messenger and Telegram, I do a lot of just readings, so, and either through Zoom. So I do Reiki healing sessions. Um, and I do mediumship readings that are mixed in with a lot of like life coaching and guidance and some oracle cards. I'm an eclectic blend of a healer. I kind of design it around what the person's needs are. So I do a lot of chatting, getting to know you, what's going on. And then we come up with a plan, either like a couple card reading, or you can set up monthly, type of sessions. And then my Reiki sessions, I love. We just, I set up a time, you relax, and I send distance, and then I will fill you in on everything I see, which includes a lot of, like ancestors and messages. And I can see throughout the body where the energy is stored. And so I do a really long, like follow up at post session because I think it's important to know what's going on when people are working on you and healing. So um, that's how. Imagine It Better on Facebook. Otherwise, on Instagram, I'm just Ashley Andrioni. And yeah, I just connect via chatting, getting to know people. So
I
until my
love it.
website's up. Yeah.
And like I mean, when you did that session for me, like I mean, it really opened um something more like in my body, like what you were saying, where you were sharing like you can really, see into that, because we all have these abilities, right? But it's like
Mhm.
as each of us align to our truth, we can actually support that facilitation of your next growth and your next. And so I felt like, like you were sharing like the Disney songs, and like you'd hear a song and like something would like come to you, and it was just like all like perfect timing in terms of like just opening me to even seeing more of what's possible, really imagining
Yeah.
even more of what is possible. So like you shared, like there's this embodiment piece that happens like just by getting to know you, just by getting to just experience you, and knowing how much you love to help others. I like, that's why I feel like we're like twins in some life, because literally we have similar stories and our energies are so similar, and it's just we love helping. Like we would
Hmm.
give our all, and it doesn't matter what we receive. It's just this like outpouring, love of wanting to support someone, especially if we've already, gone through it. So I love it. So I just love what you're becoming and already are, and I'm just excited for the future of each of us, of how we're
Me
all going
too.
to imagine a better life, a better world.
Yes, I love it. I can't wait to see what even each new day brings, truly. I feel like I was reborn and now I get to refigure it all out again. It's like there was chaos and having to refigure out a business plan. And I love it. And so, yes, I love that we are just so similar in our helping because I feel like there's power in the numbers. You help me be louder. I feel like when we first met, I was like, "Ah." But you help me be confident. So I need people like you, and we need more people like us to join. So thank you so much
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Oh,
talking. I
thank
love it.
you. Yeah, so good. Well, until next time, bye for now. Thanks again, Ashley, and tune in for more.
Bye for now.